probably should have done this first, but...
Oh, that'd be nice, though.
A little open.
Sound effect.
Opening the open.
Opening the open. No, so this is the thing.
Okay.
I put in the chat. Shouts to the Hey Boys again. You know how I don't give a fuck about my birthday, right?
Sure.
So I'm deciding that maybe the best thing I should do with my birthday then is use the fact that other people give a fuck about my birthday to force my homies to create content. And so for my birthday, I want to host a one-shot D&D campaign for the Henny Boys and the Henny Associates like Jameson Jane and whoever else wants to join. A nice D&D one-shot that I'm going to write myself, and we're going to produce it as content for the Black Rose page.
Okay.
Are you down?
Of course. I like D&D. I always come up with the most ridiculous characters.
So I can't tell you the story then, or the characters that I put in the story because you're going to be a player?
Fact.
Okay, cool. I definitely am going to need to holler at somebody to produce the camera part. I think we could do it with 2 cameras. I think it'd be fine. Just put one on me the whole time because it is my birthday. And I am the dungeon master, right? Mm-hmm. But then we have a floating one. And I think that all the homies that play Baldur's would be dope. I think they would enjoy it.
Okay.
So that's my goal. So far, only Swagoo has said he's down. But I'm going to ask again. So that was just that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing I got kind of going on. Did something special happen today, or was that yesterday? Actually, didn't you join us in
in Diamond
Diamond Gang? Yeah,
I did. Yes, I shine bright like a diamond over here, and I lost it to a really bad morning, and then I gained it back last night, and then this morning we had some good runs, and then we, lost it on a tiebreaker round.
Oh fuck!
What?
We could have won that last game. I'm just thinking about the fact that I didn't hold my alt again. If I would have held the Eye of Agamotto.
Here he goes.
I'm just saying, if I would have
The
held...
entire ride to work.
That's not true.
If I had just held my
That's
Agamotto,
not true. That was not the entire
if
ride
I
to
had
work.
just done it.
That was the entire us getting dressed after we finally got off.
Okay.
By the time we left the house, we were talking about other shit. Why would you do that? Why would you lie on my name like that, Boots? That's
Not
fucking
even
crazy.
true. It's not true. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So our drug of choice today is the same old, same old.
Oh yeah, we're not switching it up yet. It's too early in the. It's too early in the production.
But today we have accomplices. Why don't you name your accomplice?
Oh, I guess this Fuji apple pear Celsius.
Mm-hmm. And I am having a mango passion fruit Celsius. We are not sponsored by Celsius, but we are taking offers.
I mean, sure, why not? I'm gonna take it. I just need some energy after dealing with my job, which we're not gonna talk about.
Facts.
Especially now that it's lit.
Especially now that it's lit. Hi. Welcome
to the Cosmic Corner.
On Boots.
With Zolo and Boots. I expected you to finish it for me. You didn't finish it for me. We're gonna figure it out. Welcome to the Cosmic Corner with Zolo and Boots. She already told you who she is, and if you don't know who I am, we have problems. We got beef. You should know who I am. This is our weekly yap where we talk about stuff and we get mighty cosmic. I hope that you're enjoying your week, I guess, because we do.
I hope you're about to enjoy your week.
yeah, because we're recording this right before we enjoy our weekend. But yeah, we're back. We're here. It's cool. We're cosmic right now. I hope you're, enjoying your choice of whatever cosmic situation you got going on. Again, maybe you're listening to us with your morning coffee or your morning tea or your morning energy drink, or maybe you didn't tune in till
morning wake and bake.
Or that part. Or maybe you're tuning in after work for your after work wake and bake. Or your after work coffee.
After work coffee.
Or maybe you've got a beer.
Beer.
For those who have one. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's too bad. No guest today. Shout out to Naeem. He was gonna pull up potentially for this one. That's the homie. That's the director of photography. If you know Black Rose fam, you know my guy. He did watch the fucking show. What are we talking about today, Boots?
Daredevil.
Born Again.
You know, the other person I'm looking forward to in Marvel Rivals,
They should drop Daredevil in Marvel Rivals 100%. That should definitely That should definitely be a thing.
Is he in Ultimate Alliance?
He is in both Ultimate Alliance games.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I haven't played as him
I was about
before.
to say, I haven't played the third one, really.
No, you start out as Guardians, and we haven't gotten past that part.
And my
because of
thumbs.
joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big hands. Switch has terrible controllers. I talked about this on some video somewhere. You can listen to it. But yeah.
It's because I have Joy-Con drift, too, so there's two things that were happening. But we're not talking about video game Daredevil. We're talking about
the MCU bringing Daredevil into the fold fully and completely now with his very own series that is 100%. I don't care where you heard it from. It's 100% a continuation of the Netflix series. It wasn't always going to be that.
No.
Wasn't always going to be that. But somebody finally got in their right mind.
Someone snitched and said, hey, it's not going to be about that. And everybody was like, oh, what?
Excuse me? What?
Okay, I'm not watching it.
Why would I watch it if it's got my guy in it and it's not about what he used to be doing? What the fuck?
And then the Feige machine was like, oh, error.
It was low key the writer strike. If everything on the internet is to be believed, and in this case, the story has repeated itself so many times that I do believe it. It was during the writer strike that they had filmed about roughly 3 or 4 episodes, is what I heard. And during the writer strike, they couldn't film anymore, so they were watching it, and something about it wasn't working. And if you listen to Charlie Cox say it himself, he was one of the biggest advocates for the fact that they needed to stop trying to distance themselves from the history established with Netflix, and they might as well just lean into the fact that there's a built-in fan base for this character and his world. So let's just do the damn thing. But did they just do the damn thing, Boots?
No. Yes? No?
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
It was more like a retool. So, and again, only the internet is to be believed. Mainly the pilot and the second half of the season, mainly that's what's been added.
So everything we're seeing right now, besides the pilot, was the original idea.
Well, let's say this right now before we go any further. Full spoilers for all 4 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. It's only up to 4 episodes as of this point. So if you're listening to the pod beyond this point and you haven't seen all 4 episodes of Daredevil, don't say I didn't warn you that we about to talk about shit that happens in Daredevil Born Again. There you go. So yes, everything other than the pilot is part of the original vision of the show.
Okay.
And then the main thing that got changed is the pilot and then the second half of the season, which we have yet to see. So in my mind, the trial of Hector Ayala and how that whole thing played out, that's exactly how they envisioned it.
Right.
The cops and the whole Punisher thing, that's exactly how they envisioned it. The thing I'm seeing now is that John Bernthal walked away from the original idea before the retool, but that tells me very much that they wanted to do Punisher stuff before they retooled it.
Right.
Another thing that I'm seeing now is that the conversation we saw with Frank and Matt in episode 4 was actually shot for later in the season. And that somebody was like, yo, this kind of need to happen sooner. And so there was reshoots with only Matt, which means everything you saw Punisher, that was the original shooting for Punisher. And the director of that episode didn't shoot none of that. But there are some parts of that conversation with Matt that the director of that episode shot that ties that conversation into that episode. Do you remember everything that went down in episode 4?
Episode 4, it starts out with putting away Hector's stuff in the evidence bag, and it's being handed off to Matt. And when Matt takes it, the niece of Hector shows up and talks about how nobody's really doing nothing about anything. Then...
So it's like these 3 conversations are the main points of that episode. 3 conversations that people are having with Matt that is now more so disillusioning himself from fully relying on the system. And so yes, first it's Hector's niece, and she's like, yeah, we're just brown people They're the fucking cops. Like, they're not gonna care. They don't care about nothing that's going on with him. Like, this is just how the shit is.
And then his partner asks him to take on a case of this man who's doing some petty theft shit.
Yeah, stole some fiddle faddle.
Yeah, fiddle faddle.
Literally.
And by the way, Charlie Cox being able to deliver a lot of this stuff as seriously as he does, icing on cake.
He's just about it. But so he's in there talking to the client about fiddle faddle, and he's like, the client's like, y'all want parole? I need parole. And Matt's trying to argue down as close as he can get to parole, but he can't quite get the parole. But he goes back to the client. He's like, look, I got you. You're in prison you got 2 weeks, I think, 1 week. And he expected the dude to be happy, and the dude's like, nah, because even if I'm in here for 2 weeks, I can miss this, or I can miss that, or I can fuck up my appointment, I can fuck up my food stamps, I can fuck up all this. Like, the system is not set up for me to be in here and live my life regular. Like, it's going to fuck me over in the end. So that's conversation 2. Disillusionment with the system and how it's treating the people. And then the last one, that's when my boy shows up. John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Because Matt is trying to figure out who killed the White Tiger.
Indeed.
And so what leads him to the Punisher is he finds a bullet casing.
With Punisher skull on it. Engraved. Punisher's like, that's not my bullet. That's these copycats.
Yeah, I'm medicated. I'm clean right now. I'm like, shit will come up. Trust, but right now it's not happening.
Now, I ain't doing that shit. But you, sir, this not why you really here, bro.
Right.
You're upset because Bullseye is still alive, Foggy's not, and you notice a bunch of bullshit, and you know you ain't done nothing about it. And tore that man a new one. Tore that man an absolute new one. And I'm like, yo.
And I just love how much he's digging in with the red, knowing damn well he hasn't been red in a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
It has been a year since he's done Daredevil shit. And so I thought it was dope. And as I'm seeing I see the vision of what they were trying to do before they retooled it.
Okay.
Because that vision is still there. I don't see why that vision ever had to distance itself from the Netflix stuff.
Right. And from what I've seen online, a lot of that was contract related and just a lot of politics behind the scenes as to why they were trying to distance themselves from it.
I've heard some of that.
Yeah.
I've seen some of that. I'm not sure if I can verify any of it, but I would believe it. It could be compelling.
I would believe it too, but I would also believe that at this point Disney has the type of FU money
to just do it.
To just do it, either deal with the whatever discrepancies that happen along the way, or even just hiring back on the people, and just bypassing all of that, because that's literally what it was like, oh, what was it? Something about like the 3rd season of Netflix is when benefits kick in, and that's why so many seasons die before the 3rd one and shit like that.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So
again, take it with a grain of salt. But the fact that they are actually doing it, because the biggest thing, and I think this would have pissed off a lot of people, is the fact that the very first thing we heard was that Karen Page and Foggy weren't going to be in it at all.
Right. And we're like, why? Because, like, that's what I think. I feel like they finally had to realize that, like, there's no point in distancing ourselves. We can tell a new story. We can elevate Daredevil with the production value that we can afford. But we can also bring in the past, and we can acknowledge the past, and we can totally fold that in to everything that's already happened. Because at the time that the Netflix shit was coming out, it really was folded in. Like, even though the continuity was always one way, and it was like the movie's continuity affected the TV, but the TV continuity never affected the movies. As a fan, just watching, just, giving yourself to the world, you could see all of it being connected. It all fit. It didn't contradict each other at all. So, like, it never had to be this big debate about should we bring that stuff back? Is that stuff canon? Like, the people who wrote it already tried to fit it within the canon, so it fits. Just put it there. Just do it. Just use it. So I'm glad that they finally figured that out, because it was dope to see Foggy, even if it was only for a little bit. It was dope to see Karen. The implications of that, like I was talking to you earlier, of like, oh, when Matt was Spider-Man's lawyer, Foggy was working there too, so fucking Peter Parker knew who Foggy was. Like, that had to be a thing. So like the implications now with them being totally folded into
Probably
MCU
not.
is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But how do you think the show compares to the Netflix one?
I want to say TBD.
Well, just so far, you know?
Yeah,
You're 4
but
episodes in.
so far, if I were to compare to my initial reaction to when I first saw Daredevil, it feels more gritty. It feels more cinematic. I feel like a lot of that just has to do with cinematography and who's coloring it and stuff like that. But it just felt better. I don't know how else to like say that or articulate it better than, I think gritty's the best way. And
you're talking about the Netflix one to Disney? Like,
yeah,
the Netflix one felt better?
the Netflix felt better.
The Netflix one feels more gritty?
Yes.
The Netflix one feels more cinematic.
Yes.
See, gritty.
Disney.
Gritty, I can agree with you 100%. The Netflix one is way more.
I don't think, and that's not to say Disney's is worse or bad or anything of that sort, but I guess it just had this tone that really stuck with you. And the other thing is, I prefer that for what that was, whereas this is a different story telling a different thing, and maybe at the end of it, I'm going to prefer it for what it is.
But so far,
and then
the Netflix one, it just has a stronger impression, I guess.
yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
sense with the history of it, and it has all of that.
But I also think what the Netflix one was really trying to do was ground you in his world and how he senses it. So that's why, like, the way that they would shoot things, like, I can just remember, he was talking about how there's this screen that, like, faces his apartment, and he's blind, so he doesn't experience, and then you could see all of the, like, colors that pop through the apartment that juxtapose his feelings, but he's sensing the world differently, and I feel like that really reflects in the cinematography of the Netflix series.
See, I feel like the way that he uses his senses and his powers is really reflected in the cinematography of the Disney Plus series. The way that they're using the camera panning, and they're they're bringing in the bars and they're taking away the bars to show what he's focusing on and how he's focusing on it, and the sound design of how he can sort of select what he's listening to. I feel like they're doing a way more cinematic version of that. So I think in this one, this might be one of those first places where we kind of are already different, because I'm not gonna say I like this better, but I really like what I'm seeing, and it does feel like it's an kind of elevated version of that thing I love so much before. Like, the Netflix series is way more gritty and way more grounded, and I feel like since the episodes are kind of longer, and that was sort of the Netflix style at that time of being bingeable, it was a lot more, you're kind of living more in those moments and with those people. And I do like that. I do miss that.
You know what? I can see exactly where you're coming from, because I'm seeing it in my head as well. I think they really did what Netflix did with that grittiness, I guess I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They did that well with Echo. Echo had that feeling.
Echo did. It kind of transformed at the end.
It did at the end.
Echo stopped feeling like the gritty, this is the new Marvel's Netflix feel by the end of it. Do you wonder if that's going to happen here?
I would hope so, actually.
Because it has I feel like it has a grit to it right now.
It has a little bit.
Like, it sort of feels in the same tone of maybe Moon Knight. if we're thinking about the other Disney Plus series.
That's really like
it fits that
dark.
sort of darkness,
Yeah.
and that sort of grittiness while still being like a gritty
Loki
pocket
does
of the
too.
MCU. Loki does.
There's a nice little pocket of
Loki has grit.
of these ones, you know,
that are kind of more gritty. This one's definitely on the grittier side, though, and definitely the bloodier side. And I think the only thing that's going to compete with that is the Punisher special that comes out afterwards, that's the only thing that's going to be bloodier than this.
We haven't finished the last season of Punisher. I think we got through half of it. So
do we have to do that before we see the special?
Unless we somehow did, because we did walk away from it. Maybe we did come back to it. I can't remember.
I can't remember the second season of the Punisher. I can vividly remember the first one, but I can't. So I probably should watch the second one again.
Yeah. So...
do you think it's working for you?
Oh, I think it's working. I totally think it's working. I also really try to go into this with very low expectations, if we're being honest. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's really nice to just look forward to something on Tuesday nights.
Facts.
You know?
Facts.
And it's Marvel. And, you know, now I'm just like, what's going on? And we're getting there with another show, The Royal Gemstones.
The Gemstones.
We binged that in 2 weeks.
Gemstones is big. Yeah, we're about to finally be able to see the
Sunday
season
nights,
that came. And so that's going to be our Sundays now.
Yeah.
We got to watch 2, and then now we can watch the Precious. It's not the Precious. It's the Righteous.
The Righteous. Yeah, I said Royal.
Righteous.
The Righteous Gemstone.
You said Royal. It's fucking hilarious.
Because no, the other show he does is the Royal Tenenbaums, and I just merged them together.
That's your creator. What's that creator?
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
He's the one who plays Jesse. Yes.
Jesse?
Yes. That's Danny McBride.
I mean, that makes sense because he's
because
like
remember
the lead.
I told you there's a couple of them, and we started watching one, and it's vice principals. It's him and fucking Walton Goggins trying to get the vice principal job. That's one of his other projects.
I think, yeah, you showed me that one.
And then there's the Royal Tenenbaums, and then there's like Eastbound and Down.
That dude's good.
Yeah, he's got a couple of shows on HBO Max. I bet you they
though.
all have dicks in them.
Yeah, he's got a
lot of
fucking dicks in it. It's like he don't.
I can count on one
fuck.
hand how many naked women I've seen.
Have there been naked women in this show?
Twice. It's the tape at the beginning. If you want to count Judy stuff.
More spoilers, by the way. Light spoilers, I guess. This show's funny. Watch the show.
And then the orgy scene we just watched. With Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, and he's like, "Oh, I was
at this orgy.
at the Y2K party with these guys." And then he didn't tell me it was an orgy. He was like, "We went to a party afterwards. It was chill."
Insane.
This show's dope. That show's fucking.
This show is
insane.
It's so cool. John Goodman. This is how high sessions work. We have a list.
That's on Max. No, that's on Max. But I'm Born Again on Disney Plus, and with. Like, Danny McBride is one of your favorite creators. You want to know who one of my favorite creators is? It's the Russo brothers.
I don't know why you said he's one of my favorite creators.
He's one of my favorite creators.
Getting into... I told him the other day, hey, I'm getting into Danny McBride stuff, apparently. He's a great creator. And now he's suddenly one of my favorites. But you're going to say the Russo brothers.
No. It's Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon, yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Harmon's a good one.
Community. And that's where...
First
started seeing the Russo brothers is Community.
Yeah, I've literally used Dan Harmon in I used to teach a theater class. I used him in my class. Like, he's a great.
You put me on the latest Dan Harmon show. You did that.
Shoot, which one is it? Crapopolis?
That's Dan Harmon, right?
Yeah,
that's the latest Dan Harmon.
Yeah,
the
that's one of them.
He's got more. We gotta go find.
There's another one.
We definitely gotta go find those.
Crapopolis is pretty hilarious.
No, Russo brothers are gonna do Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Does Daredevil show up?
Probably.
And which one?
Secret Wars.
I feel like everybody is showing up at Secret Wars.
Yeah. We should. You know what we should do? We should read the comic book line, and then discuss that.
We just gotta read the Secret Wars comic book. Which one? The newer one? It's probably gonna be more based on the newer one.
Okay.
So get that one. Read through that one. Yeah, probably gonna be that one.
They have some comics at the library. I read a Moon Knight one.
Yeah, after
that was pretty dope. He has a self-driving limo.
That's Steven who has it.
They all are working together.
You're at that point in this comic.
In this comic,
chill.
and he's helping.
They're bros.
He's helping the cops solve crimes, like serial killers and stuff like that. So he's in New York and he's helping people solve crimes.
Is Khonshu in the picture?
Yes, they all
are. They chill with Khonshu?
Yeah, they're all chilling together.
They're all fucking chilling. Man, I gotta read that one. The fucking moon.
It's so good. Yeah.
The moon haunts you.
And then there's this no, I'm not gonna tell you. No, you need to read it and then we'll discuss it.
No, I'm gonna read it. Are we gonna play Rivals when we go home?
We're at 100%. I was gonna ask you that.
You're gonna ask me that? Are we playing comp?
We should also talk about the other game we've been playing, which Boots is somewhat good at, this is a rarity.
The game is dope.
This is a rarity. So I have to milk it for what it is.
Get out of here, Boots. You're doing good.
No, I'm really good with one of those characters, but I'm not good with any of the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm pretty decent with the long range ones, I should say. But the short range ones, I don't know how you guys do it. But the game we're talking about,
that's why we're all dead.
Yeah, that's why you guys
all the
are
time.
all dead. Yeah.
When we're playing 33 Immortals is what it's called.
Is that?
I'm pretty sure it's called 33 Immortals. And the idea is that it's a roguelite. So every time you go into the dungeon, it's a procedurally generated dungeon, but you are a fighter, or you have daggers, or you have bow, or you have the magic wand. And basically, it's a top-down roguelike action-adventure game where you hop into a space with 33 other souls, but you can bring your party of 4 people up in there, and you're just killing demons, and you're going into these rooms. I keep on forgetting what the goddamn fucking rooms are called. But you're going to these dungeons, and you gotta destroy all 12 dungeons, and then when you do that, you gotta go to like a boss rush.
Torture chambers.
Torture chambers? Yeah, they're the torture they're chambers. Yeah. So there's 12 chambers on the map, but only some chambers are open at some times, and so you're running around
and only
killing
6
demons,
people can be in it.
and trying not to die, and only 6 people can be in a chamber at a time, and only 2, like sometimes only one of the 12 chambers is lit, sometimes it's 2 of them, but you're trying to go in there, destroy the chamber, get all the dope ass gear, and then once all 12 of the chambers have been destroyed, then it's like fucking Fortnite, where the walls are coming in on you, and it rushes you to this one spot where you gotta destroy some waves of some niggas, and then that lets you ascend to the heavens, or the hells, rather, because we was fighting motherfucking Satan, Infernal Demon. What the fuck with that? Was that thing? What the fuck was that thing?
That thing was so cool.
But we were fighting it, and we did not win.
No, we just knocked off one of the 10 bars.
Yeah, we did not win. But that game is fun. We were playing it. It's like you're almost like stick figures or some shit with swords and knives.
You're 2D souls.
You're like a little black soul.
Yeah, and you have like
but you got a dope cape.
You have
on.
like a headpiece. You have like
you get different capes,
different
and
types
different halos
of weapons that you can pick up
from whatever class. Oh yeah, and then
you
the
got
weapon skins
colors
too.
Of your capes.
And so you gotta do these combined. You gotta attack the same enemy, and you get extra damage for that. And then they got these dope like combined attacks where you like. Once your bar is full up, you like, hey, I got mine. And then you got 2 of your homies gotta hop on the bar, and then all 3 of y'all unlock this ability, or everybody gets a shield or something cool. It's kind of fun. It's definitely it's a game preview right now too, so it's not even fully out yet.
Right.
It's not even really out yet.
Sometimes it be crashing.
It definitely do. But we should probably play it on the stream when my stream start working. I don't know when my stream say it's not working.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try and stream tomorrow. So sometimes I'm a sporadic Saturday streamer.
Yeah.
And Monday.
We like that. We like those sporadic boots. But yeah, maybe I'll be live Sunday like I'm supposed to, and playing this. This game is pretty fun.
The game is fun.
But don't you think that was like a cosmic corner?
Yeah. There wasn't even any cosmic chaos.
Was there not?
No.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.